Tabe has just released Arc 8 Chapter 40, and this video will be a summary of the chapter. Heinkel was not a stargazer. He was neither a sword saint or held the title of Van. The title Van is given to those who distinguish themselves as swordsmen. He is the vice captain of the Knights of Lagunica, but that is merely for decoration. The man whose resolve was broken stood up again, and was expected to follow a new straight and narrow path. Heinkel wanted to cling on to a small hope, namely the hope of escape, something which Rowan did. However, Heinkel did not realize that's what he actually wanted. He was too stupid for it. Heinkel decides to travel to the fourth apex, the one located southwest, and is met with a voice. I, Mesioria, obey the voice of my child, and become the wind from the sky. Mesioria guarded the fourth apex. The scene changes. The room was filled with jewels and gold, luxurious costumes. There Madeline wakes up. As she wakes up, she knocks the jewels around onto the floor, but she doesn't really care. Jewels and gold are things Madeline likes. She hates humans, but their ability to create beautiful gems are hard to hate. This was not the den she lived in as a 9 Divine General, but a hastily made one. She opened the door and called out to Carillion. There past the balcony was Carillion flying. Carillion turned their head, and with golden eyes and a cracked face, it looked at her. Flying dragons, especially undead, would attack without hesitation, but Carillion lowered her head, and Madeline scratched its neck. Carillion was the first flying dragon that Madeline saw to be tamed by a human. Madeline, who is the last of the dragonkin, didn't really have any contacts with other people apart from Mesioria. She wanted to stay in the Sea of Clouds, however that changed when she met Carillion and Balleroy. Madeline then asks where Balleroy is. A sound occurs from the corridor and Balleroy appears. Madeline says if it wasn't for him, she would have chewed him up with her fangs, and Balleroy says that he only did what he did by appearing randomly and disrespected the dragon because it was him. So if he was someone else, he wouldn't have done that. Madeline, of course, laughs and breathes. Her breath is laced with hidden emotion. Madeline's feelings for Balleroy were strong, even with his new appearance. Madeline then asks where he was, but Balleroy says that there was a rat in the capital, so he was doing recon. Madeline then asked if he killed the rats, and Balleroy said no, but Palladio was angry. Palladio was a royal member of Wallachia that took part in the last election, and then he was killed by Priscilla. Balleroy explains that his appearance is all due to the witch, including controlling his freedom. The undead, which was similar to Mesioria's husk that Madeline can control. The witch understood the mysteries of Odd Lagna, mysteries that Madeline, a dragonkin, did not know. Madeline wanted to join with Balleroy and fight back, but of course with the witch controlling everything, it was uncertain on what the witch's goal was. Of course, if the situation was different, Balleroy would have simply fled with Madeline to the Sea of Clouds and they could have had their marriage proposal. Madeline then hugs Balleroy. He moved slightly so her horns did not pierce him. They knew each other, but now they met again, with their bodies touching. There was no heat emanating from Balleroy, but did it truly matter? Who can declare the dead rising as a mistake if there's something precious among them? Madeline says that she only needs Balleroy. Balleroy looks to the balcony as he pats Madeline's back, and Madeline also feels a sense coming from Mesioria. She had Mesioria guard the apex and destroy whatever approached. Madeline says she will be back, and she goes limp and Balleroy catches her and carries her. No matter what, Balleroy says, alive or dead, they will meet again. That's all he wants. the scene changes. It isn't even called a battle. It's like a broom brushing dust across the sidewalk. That is the difference between a dragon and human. Some humans are mutations and are really strong, but even though they are human, sometimes they aren't human at the same time. A swear word erupts as a red-haired man escapes from the rubble. He is an insignificant threat. The man pointed his sword at the dragon, but he held no fighting spirit. It's always like this, he spat. Not to himself, but to the world. I've been down on my luck. The dragon then swings its tail, hitting Heinkel through multiple buildings. The body, disfigured, was ugly. Despite that, a moan was heard. The dragon, seeing this, readies a blast and fires it at the man. This was not a battle, it was a one-sided annihilation. And with that, the chapter ends. I think the only interesting thing here is that Madeline goes limp and she can control Mesioria, and that's how she does it. So her main body, you can pretty much kill her when she's, controlling Mesioria.